And welcome back to Who Would Win? Today's Who Would Win comes to us from Zero Speed, who asks the question, who would in a fight, Anime Ghidorah or Goku from Dragon Ball? I just did a what if earlier today, or earlier this week, where we're talking about what if Anime Ghidorah were in the Dragon Ball universe. And I did specify that once you got into Super, it would become a lot more difficult for Ghidorah to really have any major impact on the story because you have individuals like Beerus and God-level opponents. Obviously, though, the anime Ghidorah is a bit of a tricky combatant to deal with because as long as he is anchored to the world through the item that anchors him, he is intangible and therefore cannot be attacked through normal means. And he will just continue to siphon off energy or distort gravity around him to avoid attacks. So unless you are, say, someone like Beerus who can destroy a creature or destroy anything even that is intangible, it doesn't really matter what you throw at him. As powerful as Goku is, and he is obviously extremely powerful, he is, except for I think Gohan at the moment, like the strongest main character in the series. And the only reason I say Gohan is because Toriyama, I believe, said that Gohan in Beast mode is stronger than Goku. He is, by all accounts, the main character and the strongest in the series right now, roughly speaking. So, see, the thing is, if we're going by anime Goku that we've seen to date, well, Goku, despite all of his power, doesn't have anything that threatens a being like Ghidorah. He would have to find the thing that's tethering Ghidorah to the world, or to this reality. And if he found it and destroyed it, then he could fight Ghidorah. And at that point, yeah, he could easily overcome Ghidorah. No problem. Ghidorah doesn't have that level of power against him when he's bound to the laws of this world. The problem is when he's not bound to the laws of this world. So if it's anime Goku doesn't really have anything to deal with Ghidorah because he's not someone who's going to go and try to find the object that tethers him. He's going to try to fight him as is, and this being is not something Goku is naturally designed to take on. But there is a catch-22 with this. I think I had someone argue this, like, Goku can't use this technique. It's like, yeah, in the manga he can, actually. He doesn't perfected it by any stretch of the means, but he can use it. And that is, manga Goku can use the Hakai. And Ghidorah, as strong as he is not a universal level being. He's at least not in the grand sense of like a Beerus or a Zamasu or anything like that. Now, again, I think I've heard people say, Goku can't use the Hakai. And just about any other incarnation, you're right. However, in the manga, during the Goku Black Arc, he did, in fact, use the Hakai on Fused Zamasu. It didn't work on Fused Zamasu, A, because Goku had never really practiced it, and B, because Zamasu's immortality made things difficult to manage. But, yeah, ultimately, he was able to use it. So, if he had to, and if he focused all of his power on Ghidorah, then in theory, yes, the manga version of Goku could beat Ghidorah. But that's a 100 to 1 shot, honestly, because he's never used it since. I really think it was kind of like a one and done thing. And I think it's more just because he doesn't want to be using borrowed power. He wants to be using his own abilities. And, he feels maybe that's a borrowed technique from Beerus. And he doesn't want to insult Beerus by using it. But look, in a 1 in 100 scenario, sure, yeah, he would beat Ghidorah in that way. The problem with the anime Ghidorah is just that he's so uniquely designed that, and by the way, no, I showed it there, but that's the full Ghidorah. We only ever see his neck and heads, but that is the full design of the anime Ghidorah. It's actually a nice design when you actually break it down. Not just this, and you can see the background image I'm using here, but not just heads. But ultimately, yeah, unfortunately, yeah, Goku's kind of getting the short end of the stick this Who Would Win month. Yeah, anime Ghidorah is a being that Goku could just not naturally beat, and Ghidorah could, in theory, grab him and absorb his energy. Now, that being said, however, Ghidorah isn't a universal level being in any stretch. He's definitely a cosmic being, but not in the sense of like a Beerus who can literally threaten the universe with a punch. It's not that level of power. In fact, he doesn't even really threaten the universe so much as just threatens planets. He's still just a planet eater. He can warp space, time, and gravity, but only within his area. So he'd also have to be able to catch Goku too. It's not like he's an extremely fast creature when attacking. Godzilla was just so slow and bulky that when they clashed, it was like, get away from me, like that's kind of what it was. So Goku could probably avoid Ghidorah. So really, it would just be a standoff until Beerus showed up and said, "Well, aren't you annoying? Boo, Hakai!" And then just incinerates him or erases him. So yeah, it's really, unfortunately, not that impressive of a fight when you actually break it down. It is kind of just a stalemate until the guy who can actually kill Ghidorah shows up. But if you're talking about who has the ultimate edge in the stalemate, well, Ghidorah does have the advantage of not being able to be hurt by any conventional means. And if he were to grab a hold of Goku, being able to absorb his energy. So, yeah, ultimately I'd go Ghidorah for the win in this case. It's just not a being that Goku's really tailored to go up against. But that's just my opinion, obviously. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you folks next time.